Hi everyone, this is Johnnyonoes and I'm playing Osiris, New Dawn, and in this Let's Learn episode, I'm going to show you all the current vehicles that are available in the game. This morning, I woke up to a Christmas present of the laboratory getting fixed up. You now have the ability of making all of these awesome vehicles. There's still one left. There is the mech, but apparently that is not craftable at this moment. I did a lot of streaming this morning to go and see if I could find the azurite needed for the mech, but apparently that it is disabled even if I did have azurite. So these are the four vehicles that are available right now. We have the hover bike, which is this fast little mover. Let's go ahead and jump on it. Look at this. Look, oh, after 15-20 hours of walking, this vehicle is a delight. Oh my goodness. It's got a little gun on it. It looks like it's the same gun as the droid has. So it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does have a lot of pushback to it. You can strafe left and right pretty easily. And if you're a terrible driver like I am and you flip this thing, all you have to do is just get off of it and then get back on it to right it. Let's see if we can find something to shoot. Let's see, anything to shoot around here? So it does have a, like, if you hold down shift, the average speed without shift is about, I think, 50 kilometers per hour. Let's see what it is. We got a nice flat area over here to take a look at. So yeah, the average speed is around 45 kilometers per hour, but if you hit shift, it goes all the way up to 130, almost 140, depending if it's flat. The hover bike, as you can see, is really, really fast, and the only problem with it that I've found so far is that it does take a lot of damage when you're using it. And as it gets more and more damage, oh, here we go. We got something to shoot. I'll try not to hit it in the critical spot so you can see how much damage this thing does. So as you can see, this little pew-pew laser doesn't do that much damage, but if you do hit it in the critical spot, it will die right off the bat. So let's go ahead and head on back and get the next vehicle. Oh, something to note is each one of the vehicles has an inventory, so it's got, looks like 12 slots. I haven't tried to see if you can go beyond that yet, but having 12 slots is amazing, especially if you're used to only picking up 2 or 3 stacks of items, then slowly trudging your way back. For the hover bike, you can repair all the individual pieces, and this does affect the performance of the bike. When everything's completely damaged, it doesn't tend to hover as high as you'd hoped it would be, and thus causing even more damage. But you can repair each one of the different modules of the bike. I think there are 5. So you have the right and left stabilizer, you have the right and left engine, and then you have the front stabilizer. So make sure to repair all of them to repair the whole thing. And you can check to see what your progress is just by looking at the whole guy from afar. So you can see there's a little bit more damage left. And then you just hit E to, that's customize. Put away the tool, and then hit E to open the inventory. Alright, the next vehicle we'll look at is the Rover. Now the Rover is very big. It's got a lot of torque to it. And I would imagine this vehicle is more used for kind of navigating treacherous terrain, because you can see that the wheels are really high off the base. Look at that. That looks so awesome. But what you're also probably noticing is that the speed of this thing is very slow. But if you're trying to get over difficult terrain, this is a great vehicle for that. The other vehicles have a hard time going up slopes, but this one just takes it like a champ. So be very careful about going downhill with this thing. It tends to slide quite a bit. Let me go downhill here. It slides, and you can't really stop it. There it goes. Actually, it kind of slides like when you're playing Tribes. It's kind of cool. If you just let go of the throttle while it's going down a hill, you can actually go faster than the 30 kilometers per hour that it's got. Now, because it's so slow, I wouldn't suggest using it to explore. But what I'm hoping for is that all this space in the back will be either used for, you know, transporting people or transporting resources. It has the same 12 slots in the inventory as the other vehicles, but I would imagine later on there'll be some... Whoa. Hi. There'll be some utility to this guy at some point to make it more useful. I'm gonna go ahead and park it, and we'll go on to the next vehicle, which happens to be my favorite. It's called the G.A.V, the G.A.V. So as I said, the G.A.V is my favorite of the 4 vehicles, mostly because it has a super big gun on it. Well, not super big, but as you can see, it does a ton of damage. It behaves like you would think of like a Jeep or like an off-road truck. It's got really great suspension on it. The gun on it is very powerful. And the best part about it is that it takes a relatively short amount of time to repair. I would expect that they'll have modules on this, just like they have the hover bike at some point, but as it stands with version 0.930, you can repair this thing super fast, and killing creatures is trivial with this thing. Trivial. But one thing to note, there is a flip command if you're to look at it. Actually, I guess it only happens when it's flipped over. But the flip command does not work right now. So be very careful about going downhill, because it's very easy to flip the G.A.V. I think I've got one flipped over here. This is the second G.A.V that I've built. I also had to build another spaceship for reasons. But yeah, I think the other G.A.V is like right over here. But I flipped it, and I was not able to recover it. I tried pushing it around with the hover bike as well as the spaceship. But as soon as you get out of your vehicle, the physics turn off, so there's no way to flip it back over. So be really careful with your G.A.V. So as you're going downhill, just take it nice and slow, and you won't have any problems with it. All right, so let's go to the last vehicle available, which is called the spaceship. It has no weapons on it, but it does have an inventory like all the vehicles do, the same 12. But to fly it, all you have to do is hold down left click and your throttle will go up, and you'll be kind of in this hover mode. As you see, there's a bar on the right that says hover, and you get the ability to kind of hover it around. You can control your yaw with A and D, and then your pitch is kind of controlled in hover mode, but not really. Not until you go into the regular throttle mode. But if you hold down W, you'll kind of drift forward. If you hold down S, you'll go backwards. So it kind of works like a helicopter almost. So it's pretty cool. Really amazing vehicle. So as soon as you hit left click some more past hover, you'll go into thruster mode. And now the controls change a little bit. So A and D control your yaw. Your S and W control your pitch, and then Q and E control your roll. So you can kind of do it like a bank. So you got a full throttle, and you can get about to 352 kilometers per hour, I think it was. Yeah, 352 kilometers per hour. So this is probably the best way to travel if you're trying to go to somewhere distant. The great thing is you can still use your beacons as you normally would, and allow you to go to all the places you want to go to. So like we just went 4 kilometers out in like the 5 seconds that we're flying. So now here comes the cool part. So just pull back on the stick with S and go straight up, and then hit spacebar to fly off the planet. Now we're in space. We're in space! It's space, guys. We're in space. The really cool thing about being in space is you still have your spawn point beacons. So you can fly to your spawn. You can go to any beacon you want at super fast speeds. You can see that we're almost back. You can also see structures that are on the ground from space too. I think you can see like some trees as well. Let's see if we can find a tree. I don't think we can. You can see trees. You can see structures that you were recently at. So I can see my little base down there. Hi, base. How are you? And another cool thing that you can find is the star base, the space base, the space station. So let's go ahead and fly over there, and we can take a look at it. All right, so we made it to the space station. And as you can see, there's no textures on it, but you can see the rigging for it. You can kind of look inside. There's no interior built yet. But there is a space station here. So awesome. I think my first spaceship that I built is over here too. Yeah. Hi, first spaceship. Sorry. I was trying to get into the space station, and apparently I did something that warped me back to the planet. It's like this little module right here. Hi, spaceship number 1. You can get out and you kind of hover around. I haven't been able to figure out how to go down yet, but you can go up by hitting space. But you just kind of coast around in this level plane here. It looks like there's some sort of a lander attachment, as well as other parts. So cool. Some like the gravity generator thing here, and some thruster pods on the back. Just a little bit of solar paneling. I would definitely need more solar panels on my space station if this was Kerbal. Definitely need more bigger ones. So yeah, that's all of the new vehicles as well as the new stuff. Azurite I wasn't able to find, which is the resource used for making the mech. But as soon as you finish building the laboratory now, you're going to be able to get all of the options for all these vehicles. And yeah, I realized I left my face on from when I was streaming, so sorry. I don't normally put my face on during a Let's Learn video, but that's me, Johnnyonoes. Alright guys, so this is Johnnyonoes playing Osiris New Dawn. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any questions at all, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Alright folks, see you later.